In today's video, we will be discussing the Minolta Rokkor 58mm f1.2. We'll test out the video performance doing a little Tuscany-inspired short. We'll delve into the performance of the aperture at the different aperture values and how the image quality holds up. We'll test out all of the flare characteristics and how it looks through the aperture range. And we put together a little cowgirl-themed photo shoot with some controlled lighting to put the lens through its paces. Come along as we talk about one of my favorite vintage lenses, the Hawkeye.
Nobody would know. Nobody.
No. Lens. So today we're talking about the third version of the Minolta Rokkor 58mm f1.2. This version was released in 1973, and I've had it for a while now, and it is one of my favorites. There were two versions that came out before this, one in 1966 and one in 1969. They had some slightly different cosmetic designs to the barrel of the lens, but overall the performance was very comparable. Those earlier versions did use thorium in some of the elements of the lens, which does make the lens radioactive. From all of my research, the third version does not use any thorium in the lens. I have not been able to confirm that though, as I do not own a Geiger counter. It has an 8-blade aperture, which gives you some very beautiful out-of-focus areas, especially at the lower f-stops. The aperture range goes from f1.2 up to f16. Now, the lens changes from f1.2 to f2. There is nothing in between, it just jumps straight to there. From f2 to f16, it goes in half-stop increments. Now, I took this lens out and did a test at all of the different aperture values. At f1.2, the lens is surprisingly sharp, especially considering the age. However, it does present with a lot of chromatic aberration, and the highlights do bloom quite significantly. Stepping down to f2, there is a noticeable increase in sharpness, and the chromatic aberration and the highlight blooming are greatly reduced. Once we reach f2.8, the sharpness improves even further, and the chromatic aberration and highlight blooming is gone. Stepping down to f4, there's no real noticeable impact to the sharpness. However, the character of the out-of-focus area, or the bokeh, is significantly reduced. Once we reach f5.6, there is a negligible improvement in sharpness between f8 and f11. The only real changes we're going to notice are going to be in the depth of field. Stepping from f11 down to f16, there is a slight drop in sharpness, but it is almost unnoticeable. Now, discussing the lens flare that occurs at the different values. At f1.2, we get this beautiful, dreamy lens flare. In the brightest part of the image, we get this hot spot, this X shape that kind of blooms into like a star-shaped pattern depending on the distance of the flare. But the characteristic is quite lovely. Stepping down to f4, that star-shaped pattern, that multiplication sign is completely gone, but we still get a very pleasing lens flare. Now this lens, because of the very large optic, is very susceptible to lens flare, which is one of the reasons why it is quickly becoming one of my favorites. So the lens has a minimum focusing distance of 0.6 meters, or just under 2 feet. Now at 58mm, that is very conducive to filling the frame with your subject and creating those more intimate shots. Now in addition to that close focus, it does have a very broad focus throw. That is extremely helpful for nailing critical focus on video. Testing out the video performance, Claire and I did this little Tuscan-inspired video short at a vineyard. I am truly very pleased with how this lens performed while we were shooting that video short. Now, for transparency's sake, on a number of those shots, I wanted that very shallow depth of field. So to maintain that on a bright sunny day, I did utilize a neutral density filter, so the image quality and performance may vary on your results based off of what kind of filters you're using. Now, after getting all those tests out of the way, I really wanted to get the lens out on like a practical shoot and really put it through its paces. And Claire came to me with an interesting suggestion / request. All right, for today's shoot, Claire asked to do kind of like a sexy cowboy look. To do this, I kind of have a particular vision in mind. So we're going to use this big softbox, one of my favorite lights. It's the Westcott Rapid Box Duo with 2 Canon Speedlight 600D XRTs in this to illuminate Claire with like a soft, even light. Then I'm going to add like a rim light and kind of motivate the sun. So I'm going to put an edge light on her with a CTO gel. I've got a little color temperature orange gel in there to add more of that like yellow hour, golden hour kind of look. This is the sexy cowgirl shoot with the Hawkeye. For the shoot, for the idea, we're gonna position Claire over here, kinda against this fence area. Have a light coming in, soft light here from the softbox, have her kind of against the fence, and then I'm going to position the light with the CTO gel kind of behind this tree to kind of motivate that kind of rim light. I'm gonna have you here. Yeah, here. Let me see how that does. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna come bring the rim light back. I just need you in a position to see where to put it. All right, now the beauty of this setup is with this trigger right here, the STE3RT, I can control the flashes, the power output, the groups and whatnot to really dial in the power. So I don't have to go behind the fence and touch that flash anymore to change the power. We're getting it dialed in. Okay. Now, I'm gonna have this come this way, kind of like motivate the sunlight a little bit. Oh, that's spectacular. Gorgeous. This is exactly what I wanted. Now, when Claire came to me with this idea of this cowboy shoot, I had a particular vision in mind that I was going for. Now, I picked a location that had this fence with an open field behind it, but it also contained some different trees. And I wanted this location specifically so that I could use it to create a lot of layering in the images. All right, give me that pose again. Oh, I love that. Additionally, I also specifically used controlled lighting because I wanted to play up a different kind of look, and I wanted to kind of force a little bit more visual interest. And because we wanted to add that visual interest, that's why I added the color temperature orange gel. I wanted it to look like sunset. I wanted it to look like golden hour. I love that. Look down and towards your boot. By adding that CTO gel and playing with the white balance of the camera, we were able to create this very convincing faux look to the images. You like it from that side? Yeah. Like, well, that's for me here, actually.
I want to play around with that one.
Okay. All right. I love how easy it was to make the Hawkeye flare. By positioning myself in a way and having the light edge light Claire and create that kind of sunset look, it was very easy to force that to create that lens flare. 3, 2. While doing that, hand, that hand, yeah, and now look straight down. Oh, I love that. Do you want to go around on that side and kind of lean over the fence? Here, and then you can do foot up, you can do all kinds of, you can just work here. The majority of these images were shot between f2 and f4. So we used f2, f2.8, and f4. A few shots we stepped all the way down to f5.6, but at no point did we shoot at f1.2. Now the reason is these images were meant to be an environmental portrait. We wanted to show off the location and use it to motivate what we are trying to do with the images. If I shot at f1.2, we would just lose too much of this location. Keep that, no, go back. Down. Hold that for me, Oh, do. I got this. Right here, you ready? So to end the shoot, I used the closer focusing distance of the Hawkeye to create a tighter, more moody portrait of Claire, to kind of invoke that idea of like, oh, it's a cowboy at the end of their day, just weary and resting on the fence. I love how these images came out from this cowboy shoot. The Hawkeye is very, very quickly becoming one of my favorite lenses, to the point that I've used it on a number of professional jobs at this point. Done couple shoots with it. I even used it for my own engagement photos with Claire. The Hawkeye is incredibly sharp, has so much character, has a three-dimensionality to it. It really makes the subject pop with those shallower depth of fields. And it is so easy to make it flare and add that extra little drama to the image. As I said earlier, I'm using the third version of this lens, so I can't speak too much to the first two versions, as I don't have personal experience with those. But from everything I've read and from all of the reviews I've seen from others, the other versions, the earlier versions, perform every bit as well as this one. I have been so beyond satisfied with this lens, I would highly recommend it to anybody who is looking for a great vintage lens with amazing character and fantastic image performance. Alright guys, well that's gonna bring us to the end of today's video. If you don't mind, do me a quick favor, drop a like on the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, and if you enjoyed the more in-depth breakdown of how we did that controlled shoot with the controlled lighting. If you don't already, subscribe to our channel. It really helps us to continue to bring you guys this great content. I want to thank everybody for watching, and as always, we will see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye-bye. Who wore it better? Claire wore it better. Bye.